Well, Donald Trump is trying desperately. It is now official. Is trying desperately to, in fact, drain that ever-loving swamp. And boy, is it tough, because he finds out that the people he's draining, the next replacement is more of the same swamp. Get rid of him. No, another one. There was a person, a New York Attorney General. What's this guy's name again? Preet Bharara. Bharara. You know how I always do that? When I'm talking about someone talking crap out of their mouth. Preet is his name. What's the chance of that? Trump fires U.S. Attorney Preet after he refuses to quit. But before that news came out, Jeff Sessions asks all remaining Obama-appointed U.S. attorneys to please resign. Please stand down. In a move, this is for both from Zero Hedge, but we're going to start with what they asked and then how Trump had to fire this particular guy. Why was this particular attorney general the only one that I understand anyways who'd refused to quit and fought to stay? And then I saw his name. Oh, that guy. I know that guy. I've done a couple videos about that guy. I had a few things to say about that guy. Let me start with the first article, because I've already done those videos on him and made another video after Trump became president about the same guy again, because the guy was supposed to be, the mad dog of, no holds barred. I'll prosecute any wrongdoing you throw in front of me. I'm not playing games. I'll get them. And here's some high profile cases that I went after. But I said, wait a minute. He's a club guy. This guy's a club guy. So I know he may win some high profile cases, but they don't mean anything, because these cases have nothing to do with the club. He's there to protect the club. Anyways, Jeff Sessions asked all appointed U.S. attorneys, step down. I wonder if he'd pointed like Trump does on his show, The Apprentice. You're fired. Looks up, you're fired. I wonder if Sessions did that by chance. I would have liked to have seen that. In a move that will likely provoke further media and pundit fury, despite it being a routine act that is concurrent with every change in administration, Attorney General Jeff Sessions has asked all remaining Obama-appointed U.S. attorneys for their resignation. Sarah Isgur Flores, Director of Public Affairs at the Department of Justice, released the following statement. As was the case in prior transitions, many of the U.S. attorneys nominated by the previous administration already have left the Department of Justice. The Attorney General has now asked the remaining 46 presidential appointed U.S. attorneys to tender their resignations in order to ensure a uniform transition. Until the new U.S. attorneys are confirmed, the dedicated career prosecutors in our U.S. attorneys' offices will continue the great work of the Department of Investigating, Prosecuting, and Deterring the most violent offenders. Trump had previously asked the Obama-appointed U.S. attorney in Manhattan, you know who, Preet, to stay on originally. In addition, the Obama-appointed U.S. attorney in Alexandria, Virginia, Dana Boente, is currently serving as acting deputy attorney general, and Trump has nominated the Obama-appointed U.S. attorney from Maryland, Rod Rosenstein, for the deputy attorney general, Politico adds. However, as NBC adds, Preet Bharara is one of the attorneys asked to resign, suggesting that something may have changed in the amicable relationship between Trump and Preet in the past few months. The issue of removing U.S. attorneys at the change of administration has been a contentious one in past years. According to Politico, in 2007, George W. Bush, his administration sought to defend his firing of 8 U.S. attorneys by asserting that President Bill Clinton had fired all sitting U.S. attorneys in 1993 in one fell swoop, as a top aide to Attorney General Alberto Gonzales put it. However, that was not true. In both the Clinton and Bush administrations, the vast majority of U.S. attorneys were replaced in the first year, the Los Angeles Times reported in 2007. The Clinton team asked for resignation letters in March, but also allowed many prosecutors to stay until their successors were confirmed. Trump has not yet formally nominated anyone to a U.S. attorney post. Today's decision, long overdue, according to many, comes less than 2 months after the president-elect Trump said on January 18th he would allow U.S. attorneys' appointment by President Barack Obama to remain in their roles for the time being. Before the announcement, officials in several U.S. attorneys' offices told the Huffington Post that they received no guidance from the incoming administration on whether they were expected to resign when Trump became president. The bottom line, whatever, is that what Sessions has done is considered standard operating procedure. And if anything, Trump was late making the announcement. Sessions' request for the U.S. Attorney's resignation comes as he prepares to implement a series of significant policy shifts at the department, pushing for tougher prosecution of gun and drug offenses and parting company with the Obama administration's embrace of more lenient sentences for some drug convicts. So Trump, next article, Zero Hedge, same thing. Trump fires U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara after he refuses to quit. The speculation over whether Trump would or would not fire the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Preet Bharara, or is it Bharara, who earlier reportedly said he would not resign on his own, came to a close at approximately 2:29 p.m. Eastern Time when Preet, tweeting from his private Twitter account, announced he had been fired. "I did not resign. Moments ago, I was fired. Being the U.S. Attorney in SDNY, New York, will forever be the greatest honor of my professional life." His dismissal ended in extraordinary showdown in which a political appointee who was named by Mr. Trump's predecessor, President Barack Obama, declined in order to submit a resignation. "I did not resign. Moments ago, I was fired." Being the U.S. Attorney, again, whatever that's his quote, which he set up his personal Twitter feed, which he set up in the last 2 weeks, of course. He was among 46 holdover Obama appointees who were called by the acting Deputy Attorney General on Friday and told to immediately submit resignations and plan to clear out of their offices. But Bharara, who was called to Trump Tower for a meeting with the incoming president back in late November 2016, declined to do so. As reported previously, he said he was, asked by Trump to remain in his current post at the meeting. Bharara met with Trump at Trump Tower and then addressed reporters afterwards. Before the firing, one of New York's top elected Republicans voiced support for Bharara on Saturday. The Southern District of New York, which Bharara has overseen since 2009, encompasses Manhattan, Trump's home before he was elected president, as well as the Bronx, Westchester, and other counties of northern New York, or north of New York City. Last weekend, Trump accused Barack Obama of wiretapping Trump Tower in Manhattan, an allegation which various congressmen have said they will launch a probe into. And now the speculation will begin in earnest. Why, just 3 months after Bharara, who at the time was conducting a corruption investigation into New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, as well as into aides of New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, told the press that Trump had asked him to stay on. He is being fired, and whether this may indicate that the New York Southern District has perhaps opened a probe into Trump himself, as some may have speculated. Earlier on Saturday, ProPublica's Jesse Asinger proposed some good ideas in tweet format over the tension between Trump and Bharara as follows. Number one, the Preet Bharara drama began with a mystery. Why did Trump ask him to stay on in November after the meeting in Trump Tower? 2, why would Trump ask him, an ostensibly tough U.S. attorney, and more importantly here, former Schumer aide, to stay on? Was Schumer making a deal? Trump and Schumer go way back in New York politics. What was Preet going to do in return? Whatever. It's just a few little pieces of speculation. But when I remember back in November, because I'm like, That guy, he wants to pick that guy. Again, an Obama appointee. Why do you want that guy? But like everyone's like, yeah, but he's tough as nails. He goes after people. But he's not going to go after the club. Show me where he went after the club. That's what I want to see. And I didn't see that. And the fact of the matter is, again, who appointed him? Barack. Barack's going to appoint like-minded people as him and his agenda. The fact that Trump had to fire the guy because the guy wasn't even willing to stand down, I won't even leave, tells me there is something more to this. If this is a common procedure, which it is, new administration, you guys did a great job, but I want my people in there. Thanks. Have a nice day. You would know that. Of course, you think he doesn't know this? Of course. He replaced other people in which the same thing happened. During that time period, he was replacing somebody else. So, 2009 or whatever. It's as common. So why would he all of a sudden, I'm creating a Twitter account 2 weeks prior, just for fun, just decided to get on Twitter, and then tweet to everybody, I was fired today. I will not stand down, so they fired me. That's his last way of telling the club, I'm trying to stay here for you guys. But I was fired, so I can't. This, my friends, is nothing more, nothing less than draining the effing swamp. And I told you, it's not just going to be, pick the Attorney General, pick the Supreme Court judge guy, and then we're good. Oh, no. I've said this numerous times. If you want to know whether you voted or whether you voted not, if we got a good or bad president after an election, look at who they appoint. That's all you have to know. Who are they appointing? And when you see who they appoint, you know. We got another club member. We got another globalist. And when Barack came in and did all the picking, instantaneously told me, you got another one. You got Bush part 2, Bill Clinton part 3, whatever you want to call it, Papa Bush part 4. That's what we got. So when I see Donald Trump, who made some weird picks at first for the top positions, whoa, old guy, what's happening? Former Goldman, whoa. When I see that, it scared me. But then I saw 7th floor shadow government group, State Department, you're all fired. All attorney generals, hand in your resignation. You refuse, good. You're fired. Get lost. He's going to put in his people. And we have top layer, second layer, third layer, fourth. I mean, there's a few layers. In each layer, there's more people. So if you got the good top layer and second layer, again, this is like the boss who sits in his office with his feet up all day. I'll have my guys go do it. Guys, pick up the phone. Guys, go do that. Take care. Let me know how it goes. Call me and tell me how the progress is going. Okay, bye. And then they go they're working for the club's agenda. Yeah, we didn't find anything. We did that investigation you asked. We didn't find anything, sir. Okay, just checking. All right, take care. No, they found something. They know all about it, but they're not going to investigate it because they work for the club. They're former bosses. So yeah, when you clean house, we've got to drain the swamp, as they say. You got to drain first level, which he's done. Second level, he's working on. Third level, fourth level. Maybe there's a fifth and sixth level. I don't know. But this guy should have easily stepped down. The tough as nails, attorney general. Okay, yeah, whatever. Get lost. Get out of the way. It's time to drain the swamp. I'm making America great again. That's what he's saying. And like I said, I wish him luck. Boy, does he have his work cut out for him. This is not an easy task, as you can see. Another thing, did I send this one to myself? Yes, I did. And I probably should add it to this video. Civil war breaks out at White House over trade. And Goldman, Goldman Sachs, is winning. Zero hedge. Earlier this week, when we discussed Peter Navarro's jarring op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, in which he alleged that the persistent U.S. trade deficit would put U.S. national security in jeopardy, we said that a better question than what is Navarro's purpose. We said that a better question than what is Navarro's purpose by writing it is why he is writing it. And does his use of a public forum like the Wall Street Journal mean that there is friction between him and the Trump camp? Especially since in recent weeks it appears that a core pillar of Trump's trade policies, namely the border adjustability, appear to no longer be on the docket of actionable items. As it turns out, that was precisely the correct question, because as the Financial Times reports, a civil war has broken out within the White House over trade, leading to what one official called a fiery meeting in the Oval Office, pitting economic nationalists close to Donald Trump against pro-trade moderates from Wall Street. More notably, the person at the center of this civil war is none other than Navarro, who, as we expected, is now said to be losing influence, and as a result, he resorted to using the Wall Street Journal as a means to appeal directly to the general public. It may have been a prudent gamble. The Wall Street Journal op-ed may have helped Navarro salvage some of his credibility with Trump. According to the Financial Times, the officials and peoples dealing with the White House said Mr. Navarro appeared to be losing influence in recent weeks. But during the recent Oval Office fight, Mr. Trump appeared to side with the economic nationalists, one official said. So again, there's this kind of fighting. Again, it doesn't matter who he's appointing, or you're an advisor or whatever. This is my economic idea. I want to make America great again. You want to do trade deals. We don't want to do those kind of trade deals. And they're fighting with them. That's what I'm gathering from this. So it says, remember Gary Cohn, former Goldman guy that he picked not that long ago as some kind of advisor? Remember that? Facing off the hardline group of Navarro and other nationalists such as Steve Bannon is a faction, if you will, led by former Goldman Sachs COO Gary Cohn, a career globalist who leads Mr. Trump's National Economic Council. But what is just as important is that if the Financial Times is right, then allegations that Trump has sold out to his Goldman advisors may be premature. In fact, if anything, Trump appears to be playing off one camp, the nationalists, against its polar opposite, the Goldman globalists. Anyway, so this is him saying some of the things that I thought. Remember when I was speculating, I said, well, maybe he's picking these people. I know this one's a former Goldman, that guy. And maybe they're going to tell him, we should do it this way, Mr. Trump. And he's going to say, no, I made a promise to the American people. I did tell you this. And this is what we're going to do. This is what I want to do, and I want you to do it. And they're fighting with him. Oh, we don't want to do it because they're not representing him. These are the CFR kind of guys. These are the Trilateral Commission kind of guys. And by the way, there is a video. What was it called? I watched part of this on Godlike Productions. It was posted as a YouTube video, though. Knew I should have sent the title to myself. Let me see if I can find it. This is a video from the 1990s that is unbelievable in exposing not just fake news, but that the news agencies do this stuff on purpose to form your opinion. And they have awesome examples I never even knew about from back then. On orders from the CFR? No, from the CFR? Is that it? Yeah. YouTube. Search for on orders from CFR. 2 days ago, someone uploaded it. 58 minutes and 5 seconds. On orders from CFR. Open up a browser, type that into Google, into YouTube. Watch that video, and you're gonna say, "Oh my God, they've been working on this for a while. They're consolidating. Here's how that works." And you'll find that the Trilateral and all these people, CFR members, that's who the president's advisor on that is. President's advisor on that, and they keep. Oh, here's your pick, Mr. President. Pick your guy, and it's their guy. So very, very interesting. I suggest you watch it. But again, Donald Trump is definitely trying to clean house. That's a good sign. It's a really good sign. Even though it's tough right now, it's still good because it shows he's really doing what he said he's trying to do. Take care.